Today, I'm finally here to announce that my gear is no longer cursed, and it might have taken me a little bit longer than I thought it would. But I kind of also took my time on this, because I didn't want to just show it off when it's kind of fixed. I want to show it off when people can look at it and no longer scream in agony as they look at it. And I will proudly show you what my gear looks like. You'll be happy and maybe a bit like scared, but like the scared part you will understand later, okay? But before we get into the video, don't forget to join my Discord, linked in the video description, and maybe also join my guild in game, because I need people to do stuff with. So if you're up to do some group PvE, group PvP, just come join my guild, the Category Republic, by joining Discord, link in the description anyway on the video. For today's special occasion, I have prepared something. I have prepared quite indeed something, and that is a screenshot of my old gear, so we have an active comparison. We will take a look at how it actually changed and how it used to look like. So that is what we're gonna do, just so you can see and maybe judge at the end how far we've actually come. You know, it is quite a question. How much did it change? Well, with no further ado, let's actually open the gear page to hopefully not give you the biggest heart attack. I hope you're ready for this. I really hope you're ready for this. If you're a vivid watcher of my stream, you might not be too scared right now. But if you're not, you might be like still worried. Anyway, here's the gear page. It could be worse, right? It could be worse. So let's start comparing it step by step, shall we? Well, first thing first, we gotta start obviously with the famous, or should I say infamous, Blackstar armor. Some of you might remember the Blackstar armor. The Blackstar armor has been something that happened to me, and I might have never told the story behind it, but how it started is when I came back to the game, I dropped a Blackstar armor piece to actually craft it, the crafting piece for it, and I decided, hey, I'll go with it. It looks cool. I remember it being a new item, so maybe it's cool. So I went with it. I got it to try. I painfully got it to Tet, and after everyone told me that it's a bad idea to get it up to Pen, I went ahead and just wanted to prove that I can do it. So that is what happened there. And you might be asking, well, you don't have a Blackstar armor piece anymore. You got a Fallen God piece. How good for you. You surely just sold the Tet Blackstar armor and got yourself a Pen boss armor and went for the Fallen God armor, right? Right? Well, if you think that is the case, that would be the sensible way of doing it, but obviously I didn't do that. I clicked the Blackstar armor to Pen after 37 attempts or something. It cost me like 150 billion. I kept grinding at Orc Camp for it, and that took me like a little bit, like 4 months or something. But the main point is, this right here is the Blackstar armor. As you can see, created by me. I made it myself. It's now a Fallen God piece. I'm planning to get it to Tet. But my further goals are a bit late in this video. But that is obviously what happened there. Otherwise, all of my gear has gone to Fallen God. Helmet, boots, gloves. All of it has gone to Fallen God. That is obviously good. Then, we obviously also have the case of the free Pen Blackstar. I got a free Pen Blackstar here, well, Tet Blackstar. Then I just one-tapped it to Pen, had another Pen Blackstar that I also one-tapped. And there we go, that's the result. Now I got a sword weapon. That is where that comes from. We got ourselves a Pen Kuto at Kafra level 7. We got ourselves... That is the Pen Dabo that I also one-tapped. You might notice, like, it's kind of like a lot of one-taps. You might be asking, like, how did that happen to me? But my personal lore behind it is that after the developer saw how much pain I had with the Blackstar armor, I said it from the start. It's like the pain that I have carried on my back, the burden that I have to carry up the mountain. And I carried it up the mountain, and now all the good things are coming to me. At least that's my lore in my head. Basically, I one-tapped this, I like got a few Pen Blackstars here, I got myself a Tet Dabo here, and brought it to Hex. I made myself another Karazat ring. This is the Jatina ring. It's a bit old, but that is where the accessories come from. And then I bought myself 2 Tet Distortion earrings, which are like kind of high on my list on replacing my... But I will get into the goals of it later, okay? But you kind of get the gist. We also got Kaburs with all-out attack as the light stones, and the Exalted Welsard. So, quite frankly, I think there's nothing cursed about the setup, apart from, I mean, some people might hate me for the amount of luck I'm having right now, but I can't do anything about it. I'm trying to struggle, as you can see. Like, I already am like 3 attempts in to get this to Hex. I mean, the entire Pen Sovereign took me a total of, I think, 20 billion silver investment to get it from non-existent to Pen. Like, including getting the Pen Blackstar. sort of people are telling me that like spending 20 billion on it is a little. And the same goes for the Pen Devil, which also cost me, I think, 30 billion in total. And people are kind of like, you know, mad about it. I'm kind of like very sorry for it, and I honestly want to say, I just want to enjoy the game, guys, okay? But that is kind of how my gear progressed this much. Do I deserve it? No. I did spend on total grinding this. I did spend a total time of about 1,500 hours since the last video that I made on my gear, which was about 2 months back. Which technically should encompass like, oh no, I'm throwing myself off the cliff, help! Basically what I want to say is, I should have had quite a bit of gear upgrades, but it shouldn't have been that much. I shouldn't have one-tapped a Pen Devil, and I also shouldn't have gotten the Sovereign as easily. But it happened, and I'm kind of sorry for it, and I know that like some people in my stream are pretty mad about this, so I kind of want to say sorry for it. But at least we're now mad for all the right reasons. We're not mad anymore for the Pen Blackstar armor, right? The Pen Blackstar armor is now a Tri-Fallen God. Now we can't be mad about it anymore. That's good. That is the gear page. Obviously you can see it's not very cursed. Some people would say Tet Black Distortion earrings are weird, but it's just a case I haven't replaced them yet. I haven't replaced them yet. They are on the list. There's a whole gear upgrade page that I will show off a bit later. But let's get first into the next thing, which is crystals. Crystals are also, I think by this point, pretty boring. I got 4 Makalots. I got myself 2 crystals of brutal decimation. I got myself 2 back attack crystals, some glorious Akrats, and crystal of precise destruction, like the new ones. And then I got myself 2 rebellious crystals, and I got myself a Gearantier. So it's actually pretty boring. Crystals have kind of dropped in price, so it's kind of like, who cares? It's like 5 billion silver, 7 billion silver, it's not that much anymore. So it's kind of boring. Obviously 2 of the Jin Dawn crystals down here were for free, quote unquote, because I exchanged the Debos. And the third one I just crafted earlier. I didn't have it yet. The slot literally just got filled out. I just thought if I don't fill it out, some people will yell at me and tell me, hey, why do you have an empty slot there? Well, this is exactly why I did that. I might be broke now. I have almost no silver left, but at least I have the third slot left. That is the first crystal setup. Then I got myself... It's called human damage, because at that time I was grinding giants, which is human damage. Is it called giants? I was grinding giants at the time, and giants is human damage, so this whole setup is called humans. But it's actually the case of, it's now back attack crystals. I just don't have enough presets. We also got a season setup, which is just XP. It's not perfect, it just kind of through and whatever in that kind of case. We got a Black Shrine setup, which is just as many actual stat bonuses as possible instead of raw stats. It's like percentage bonuses, because that's better for Black Shrine. I got a really scuffed PvP crystal setup, which makes no sense because one of the crystals exploded. We're just gonna ignore that. I got a life skilling setup, which I haven't used in a while, which is just weight limit and a life crystal and a vital crystal, which is life XP and life mastery. And then we got the general crit damage setup, which is this one. Which is basically the same as this one, which is the back attack crystal, just the back attack crystals are exchanged for corrupted magic crystals. So that is my setup here, and that's the crystals. I think it's actually pretty boring. Like by this point, my gear is pretty boring. But there's one thing that's not boring, and one thing that I'm still having here that will scare you, and that is the adventure logs. My adventure logs are basically not done, like half of them are still like empty. I mean, it's just like what the case is. So, something has to still be bad. Like when I make a video like this, there needs to be something that makes you guys cringe. So I thought like I can just leave this here and like just tell you that I haven't done them yet. And I was like, well, maybe I should like before I hit 764 gear score at some point do the adventure logs. But I'm like also like, is it even worth it by this point? I might as well just skip them and just live with not having done them ever. It's just kind of what you live with, right? I'll get murdered if I keep talking like this. Anyway, I haven't done my adventure logs. But now we actually come to the gear progression and my plan on progression. Let me just move myself somewhere else. Here we go. My actual gear progression, this is the current state, and the next goal is gonna be this. And it's just gonna be a case of getting all the armor to try, getting the belt to Sep, getting 2 rings to Hex, and getting the weapon to Hex. The only issue of the weapon is, if you actually look at the enhancement chances, the enhancement chances are really painful, and it's gonna basically take forever, so I'm kinda not really wanting to upgrade it. This will basically one of the last things to upgrade, because getting the Karajas is just so much easier. Getting the armor up isn't that bad either, so I'm going with that as well. And once that is done, I'll just replace the 2 Tat Distortion earrings for 2 Sap earrings. And then I'll have my DP up, because right now 4-1 DP is a bit low compared to my AP, which keeps going higher, so I thought I should eventually go for my DP. So that is kind of the whole gear goal. So this is kind of the part where I just wanted to point out that by this point my gear's kind of looking boring, so I'm just progressing. I'm not really like... I'm no longer here. It's no longer this case. This is what I used to have, and this is what it's now. It's kind of like a case of, you know, it's no longer scary. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try my best to do something cursed. I did do something cursed of having the journals not finished, but there's not a lot more that I can do right now. There's not a lot of cursed things I could do apart from, I don't know, trying to go for Pen Falling God instead of going for anything sensible, but that's just self-griefing by this point. And this is kind of the situation that I'm left right now with my gear. And this is kind of the point where you might be saying, hey, how did you actually get to this point? And I kind of wanted to make a point here towards group content. How did I get all of this stuff? I actually went ahead and did group content. You should be doing group Black Shrine bosses, you can even do it with randoms. You should be doing memory fragment farming instead of buying them, because it's actually cheaper. And you should also be grinding Olans in groups. There's a bit of group content in this game. It's actually pretty fun if you can just chill with people in voice chat. And that is kind of how I did my progression. So that is kind of the shout out that I wanted to do here. Apart from that, like I said previously, I spent about 1,000 or something hours on this. So I will do the only sensible thing and switch my character like I promised I would do it to my ocean character. And I'm now retiring to sailing, because that is like something that's apparently really cool. I love sea dailies, is my favorite thing. I said I would do this. I'm now an ocean content channel. Come on, guys. We're going on the ship. We're going on a trip. Ahoy, ara, 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 ara. Let me just take on my big boat and let me take you on a trip. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yes. Let's go on a trip.